All right. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you're tuning in from today. And welcome to Mid-Atlantic Arts informational session on national funding opportunities for performing artists and performing arts presenters. We're going to get started today by doing very brief introductions, and we'll tell you about who we are, and then we'll get into descriptions about some programs that you may be interested in learning more about. So, my name is Sarah Lewis. I use she and her pronouns. I'm a white woman with short brown hair and a black and white striped t shirt. And I'm the program director for performing arts and the accessibility coordinator at Mid Atlantic Arts. I'll pass it to my colleague Ernest.
Hi, my name is Ernest Stewart. He, him pronouns. Um, I am the program director for jazz. I am wearing a black sweater, black rimmed glasses, and short hair. Pass it over to 1 second.
That's fine. I'll take it, Ernest. Hey, everybody. My name's
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew.
Yes.
Aldous Olson. Pronouns he, him. I'm a white man with blonde hair, round brown glasses, and I'm wearing a red sweater today. I am the program director for our international grant programs. If you are attending APAP, I'd be glad to set up a meeting with you. Just send me an email. And I'll pass it over to Steph.
Thank you, Andrew. Hi, everyone. I'm Steph Regis, Program Associate for Fellowship and International. I'm a Latina, light brown skinned woman with long black hair, wearing a long, slick black sweater. My pronouns are she, her, ella. To you, Joel.
Thanks, Steph. I am Joel Chapman, Folk and Traditional Arts Program Associate. I'm calling in from the great state of Indiana. It's very gray and overcast here. I'm a white man with blonde hair, and I'm wearing a thick cotton shirt, white cotton shirt today. Um, I think that's it for me. Uh, I'll just say, usually I live in Baltimore. Today I'm in Indiana, but Mid-Atlantic's arts staff are located around the Mid-Atlantic region and beyond. Our office is located on in Baltimore, Maryland, and I want to acknowledge the legacy of the Piscataway and Susquehannock peoples and the enduring presence of Piscataway, Lumbee, and Eastern Band of Cherokee community members in Baltimore City today. For today's webinar, we have about 30 minutes of information to share with you all through this slide deck, and then have lots of time for questions. If you have a question at any point during the presentation, please put it in the question and answer box at the bottom of the screen. Live captioning is provided. We have Jose, I think. Sorry, they said their name earlier, and then I have to pull
Stephen
up
here with us on the call.
Stephen here on the call. Thank you. We have Stephen here with us to turn on live captions. On the control bar of your Zoom, select More and then select Show Captions. Mid-Atlantic Arts publishes our guidelines in PDF and accessible screen reader friendly Word documents on our website. Throughout your time working with Mid-Atlantic Arts, if you have an access need that is not being met, please email or call the program director for the program or you are working on to request an accommodation. You can also email accessibility@midatlanticarts.org. Accommodations requests should be made 2 weeks prior to the application deadline for each program.
So, just a little bit about Mid Atlantic Arts. We support artists, presenters, and organizations through unique programming, grant support, partnerships, and information sharing. We, as an organization, were created in 1979, and we partner with our state arts councils in our region, as well as with the National Endowment for the Arts. We combine state and federal funding with private support from corporations, foundations, and individuals to nurture diverse artistic expression while connecting people to meaningful arts experiences within our region and beyond. You can learn more about us and our work at our website, which is going to be dropped in the chat here momentarily. And we'd also recommend that you sign up for our newsletter so that you keep on getting updates from us about our grant programs in the future. Ernest?
All right. Mid-Atlantic Arts is one of 6 regional arts organizations. Our sister organizations are New England Foundation for the Arts, South Arts, Arts Midwest, Mid-America Arts Alliance, and the Western States Arts Federation, now known as Creative West. Each RAO offers funding opportunities that are specific to their regional states and jurisdictions, but many also offer opportunities that are national in scope. We'll talk a bit about the opportunities available for performing artists and presenters nationally in this presentation. You can learn more about all of the regional arts organizations, or RAOs, at the RAO website at usregionalarts.org. Steph?
Thank you. So this slide shows many of the grants and programs that Mid-Atlantic Arts offers regionally and nationally. We are not going to talk about all of these in today's agenda because they are not all directly applicable to the performing arts. However, we encourage you to check out our website to learn more about all of our programs.
All right. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first, we'll begin with information about a program that supports individual performing artists based anywhere in the US to travel to a festival abroad. And then we'll move on to discussing opportunities for performing arts presenters. To get us started, we have Andrew to tell us more about USAI.
Thank you, Joel. So yeah, US Artists International is a national grant program that helps enable US artists to perform at impactful international festivals, performing arts markets, and other eligible engagements outside of the United States. We recognize that performing artists that rely on touring to make their livelihoods face enormous challenges. Oftentimes, an invitation to perform at a festival may provide you with an artist fee and some lodging, but additional support is often necessary in order to make that performance possible. Getting a USAI grant of up to $11,000 can make all the difference by helping cover international flights, lodging, per diems, and more. We also believe that performing at significant festivals contributes to professional development. Artists who've received the grant tell us that by performing abroad, they grow audiences in a new part of the world, or they make connections with new presenters and curators that invite them back for another tour or performance. And some performers meet other artists that they end up collaborating with or learning from. US Artists International is a competitive grant program with one application deadline this year. Any festivals that you are applying with must be paying you an artist fee. And I also want to note that this grant is supplemental funding and must be matched dollar for dollar by the artist, meaning for every dollar of grant funding you receive, an additional dollar needs to go toward eligible grant expenses from other funding sources, like payments received from the festival, donations, corporate support, organizational, or artist funds. More details about the grant matching requirement are available on our website, and the next deadline for this program is February 26th, 2025, which will cover engagements that take place sometime between June 1st of 2025 and the end of June of the following year, 2026. So that's a 13-month window in which eligible engagements can take place. We're just going to put up a quick photo here of Mudwater Dance Theatre, who was recently funded to perform at the Jote International Street Dance Festival in Canada. And then we've got just a very brief highlight of some of the eligibility criteria up on the screen. There are 3 areas where you need to be eligible in order to apply. That's the applicant eligibility, international tour eligibility, and engagement eligibility. If you'd like more info, certainly read through our program guidelines on our website. Come and speak with me at APAP, or we do have some webinars available on YouTube. One covers these eligibility requirements in more depth. And we've got another webinar coming up the first week of January that you can register for that will include tips for applying for the program. We also host monthly office hours where you can join a Zoom call and ask me or Steph questions about the program that you've got as you're working on your application. All those registration links are on our website, and a few of them are going in the chat. Over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Andrew. Now we're going to move into talking about opportunities for performing arts presenting organizations. Performing arts presenters include organizations that pay a performing artist to come to their community for at least one public performance and at least one additional community engagement activity. We have several grant programs available to performing arts presenters, and we'll start by telling you about two roster-based grant programs. From there, we will tell you about two programs designed specifically to support jazz. And finally, we'll talk about programs that can support projects between a presenter and any artist they choose. But first, the roster-based programs. The two roster-based programs at Mid-Atlantic Arts are Performing Arts Global Exchange, or PAGE, and Mid-Atlantic Tours, or MAT. The difference between these two programs is the geographic eligibility limitation. PAGE is open to presenters anywhere in the United States, and Mid-Atlantic Tours is open only to presenters based in one of the 10 states or jurisdictions in Mid-Atlantic Arts funding region, which you can check out on our website. The programs also have slightly different timelines, which we'll talk about in a minute. But for each program, other than these differences about geographic eligibility, the programs work very similarly. For each, a presenter reviews the grant program guidelines and the artists available on the roster. If they find an artist on the roster they want to present, they reach out to that artist's tour manager and negotiate a letter of agreement before the program deadline. The artist's tour manager works with Mid-Atlantic Arts staff to make recommendations for the grant allocation for each artist, up to 50% of the negotiated artist fee. Then Mid-Atlantic Arts gets in touch with presenters who have been recommended for funding with instructions to fill out a simple application. These programs are not competitive, but they are first come, first served. So if you're interested in working with an artist on the roster, we recommend you get in touch with their tour manager ASAP. Now Andrew will tell us more about PAGE specifically.
Thanks, Sarah. So Performing Arts Global Exchange, or PAGE, is a national program that is all about making it easier for venues in the US to book exciting international artists while promoting greater understanding of other cultures through the performing arts. The roster focuses on different regions of the world every year, and for the 2025-26 season, we will be supporting tours of ensembles from Morocco and South Africa. Presenting international artists often requires resources that aren't always available. Travel expenses, visas, and routing through the US are often barriers to presenting international artists, especially if you're in one of the US's more remote communities. Mid-Atlantic Arts seeks to ease some of those burdens by providing grant support to US presenters of up to 50% of the negotiated artist fee. So there are 4 artists on the PAGE roster that I'm really excited to share with you today. The Layla, there in the bottom left corner, is a dynamic Moroccan singer-songwriter, blending rock, soul, and traditional Moroccan sounds. Parwa Nteniri blends traditional Amazigh melodies and North African rhythms with blues, jazz, reggae, rock, and nawa. Their performances explore identity, nature, and resistance. Mfusi, in the top right, was raised in a South African township and transforms personal and social themes into global connections through her performances. And then Empatheater is bringing 2 different theatrical works, The Last Country and La Leila Ulwandle, or Listen to the Sea. These are 60-minute theatrical performances paired with an audience talkback. The last country shares the stories of migrant women moving to Durban, South Africa, while Lalela Ulwandle explores the lives of those connected to the ocean and environmental issues. Both shows inspire empathy and spark conversation on topics of migration, identity, and sustainability. These artists were just announced earlier this week. So on our website is our details for the agents representing them. If you're interested in booking, please do be in touch. All of their agents will be at APAP, so you can set up a meeting there as well. All right, back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Andrew. I'll share more about the Mid-Atlantic Tours program now. As I mentioned earlier, this roster program is available only for presenters based in Mid-Atlantic Arts geographic funding area, and it subsidizes the touring of artists on the roster to communities in any of Mid-Atlantic Arts' 10 states or jurisdictions. The current artist roster is booking for engagements in our FY26 cycle, which runs from July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026. And you can review the guidelines on our website, as Andrew mentioned, on the Mid-Atlantic Tours page. The 6 regional artists on the Mid-Atlantic Tours roster are here. We have Bindlestiff Family Circus, Brent Burkhead, Soledad Barrio, and Noche Flamenca, The Experience Band and Show, The Missing Element, and the Paza Experience. You can learn more about all these artists through a detailed brochure that we have available on the Mid-Atlantic Tours page. And I'll pass it to Andrew to talk about the international artists on the Mid-Atlantic Tours roster.
Thanks so much. So yeah, here we have the international artists part of it that are part of this program. And through this program, these artists do have most of the visa expenses covered. So that's another way that these artists are able to tour the Mid-Atlantic, having some of those higher international expenses taken care of through our partnership with Ibermusicas. So the first group here is the Orchestra of Indigenous Instruments and New Technologies from Argentina. They use kind of newly created pre-Hispanic instruments combined to create a more contemporary orchestral sound. Very, very cool project. Definitely look at that. From Colombia, we have Nidia Góngora, who's one of the best-known singers from the Colombian Pacific coast. And then last, we have Laura Bay from Spain. She is a singer-songwriter with a really, really great kind of folk feel to her music, very much inspired by the kind of Andalusian area of Spain. So take a look at all of those. And the link to the roster details are in the chat for you. So who should apply for Mid-Atlantic Tours? You should apply if you meet the criteria for a presenter, are in Mid-Atlantic Arts geographic region, and you want to add an artist to your season whose work is recommended by Mid-Atlantic Arts and a committee of curatorial advisors. You're excited to present one of the selected roster artists, but their fee may be a bit out of your price range without grant subsidy. You maybe want to be part of a regional tour with other presenters in the Mid-Atlantic region, all presenting the same artist, and knowing the additional security that comes from being part of a block book tour. Or you may want to receive support through Mid-Atlantic Tours. Or excuse me, if you want to receive support through Mid-Atlantic Tours, complete a letter of agreement with a roster artist tour manager no later than March 27th, 2025. The program page has more information and is going in the chat now. Next, we're going to be pivoting over to our jazz programs through Mid-Atlantic Arts, and so I'll pass it over to Ernest to talk about that.
All right. The Jazz Touring Network, or JTN, is a presenter-based membership program that's designed to expand the presentation of jazz throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. The program achieves this by providing performance fee subsidies to network members for engagements that are part of the network block booked tours. Establishing these block book tours require members to work collaboratively to nominate and vote for artists. Members are currently eligible for up to $3,000 per year to subsidize performances. Fees can be used to cover up to 50% of artist fees. I'm sorry, funds can be used to cover up to 50% of artist fees. JTN funded engagements must include at least one public performance as well as a community engagement activity. Membership criteria prioritizes performing arts presenters in the Midwest region with little or no experience in presenting jazz. We also encourage applications from experienced jazz presenters seeking to strengthen their programming. The network membership applications open in early August. Applicants are typically notified of their approval or declination in mid-October. You can find more information on the JTN membership guidelines located on our website. Okay, next up, we have Jazz Road. The Jazz Road program at South Arts is a unique artist-centric program providing critical support for jazz musicians nationwide. With tour support up to $15,000 and creative residency support up to $40,000. If you are a jazz artist or represent artists who are, this program is worth checking out. I will also add that there is an application process that Eric and Drew from South Arts have done a really fantastic job at making very intuitive for artists and have refined it very well over the years. Um, Now I'll pass it over to Joel to talk about other grant programs available to performing arts presenters in the region. Joe?
Thank you, Ernest. Folk and traditional arts community projects aim to support the vitality of folk and traditional art forms, lifeways, and communities that call the Mid-Atlantic home. It's available in all of our states and jurisdictions. The program offers $1,000 to $7,000 for organizations, and each project must have a public-facing component. This grant requires a one-to-one match. This particular grant, Folk and Traditional Community Projects, is open currently, and applications will be due March 10th. If you have a hunch that you may be a folk artist or you may have an idea for a folklore project, but you're not sure, you probably are. So call me or email me. Eligible project activities may include performances, public art collaborations, workshops, trainings, exhibitions, fieldwork or documentation projects, and creation of new traditional work. Mid-Atlantic Arts also encourages projects that cross state and territory borders, as well as projects that support or engage underserved or underrepresented artists, practitioners, traditions, or constituents. Thanks. Passing it over to Sarah L.
Thanks, Joel. Now I'm going to move us into talking about programs, additional programs that do not have a roster. So this program that we'll talk about now is called ArtsCONNECT, and it is a grant opportunity that supports touring projects that are collaboratively designed by multiple presenters working together in one of Mid-Atlantic Art's 10 states or jurisdictions. The program asks 3 presenters based in 2 or more Mid-Atlantic states or jurisdictions to work together to present the same artist or company during the project period, encouraging collaboration and creating touring opportunities for artists. The program is a presenter-led grant opportunity, meaning that performing arts presenting organizations apply directly for subsidy support for artist fees. The current grant opportunity for proposed projects will be for projects running from July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026. And on that slide, we were seeing the, let me go back there. On that slide, we were seeing the group Hub New Music, which was performing through an ArtsCONNECT subsidized engagement in Baltimore, Maryland at Community Concerts at Second. There they are. All right, now who should apply for ArtsCONNECT? You should apply if you meet the criteria for the program and you have an artist in mind and presenting partners in at least one other state in the region, but you need additional funding to make it happen. Maybe you've seen an exciting project on the ArtsCONNECT projects in development listing and you want to be a part of that tour. Or maybe you want to be part of a regional tour with other presenters in the region, all presenting the same artist. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please do submit an ArtsCONNECT application. The deadline is February 25th, 2025. And before that deadline, we do also require that at least one member of the consortium, the presenting consortium, submit to a projects in development listing. You can find links to all of that on the program page, which is going in the chat now, and reach out to me with any questions. Next, I'll talk about the Special Presenter Initiatives program. This program is available to small or mid-sized performing arts presenters based in Delaware, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, West Virginia, and the native nations that share the geographies of those 5 states and jurisdictions. Presenters based in one of those 5 locations can receive funding support for up to 2 performing arts engagements, Virgin Islands and Delaware, and up to 1 engagement in DC and West Virginia. The engagements must include a public performance as well as 1 additional community engagement activity. And the current opportunity for this one is the same time period as ArtsCONNECT. So for projects taking place from July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. The artists can be based anywhere in your own community or from anywhere around the world. Each proposed funding engagement just includes a public performance and another community engagement activity. In this photo, we have Kweoke, presented by Capital Bop, with support from Special Presenter Initiatives in Washington, D.C. And again, you should apply for Special Presenter Initiatives if you're based in one of the 5 eligible states or jurisdictions, and there's an artist you want to present in your upcoming season from anywhere in the world, but you need some additional funding to make it happen. The program application deadline for SPI is March 13th, 2025. So I'll pass it over to Ernest to start to wrap us up here. Yeah.
Thank you. So this wraps up our presentation. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. While you're submitting your questions, I want to let you know that if you plan to attend APAP in person, come visit us at our booth, which is Rhinelander booth number 182.
And we're also hosting an in-person session at APAP, which is going to be on Saturday, January 11th from 4:30 to 5:30 in Concourse G of the Hilton. We're calling the event the Mid-Atlantic Region Opportunities and Challenges Share Out. And at this session, you'll hear directly from a lot of the tour managers for those roster-based programs that we heard about at the beginning of this session. So it's a great opportunity to connect in person directly with those folks who are managing those tours. We'll also share just a bit about each of these programs you heard about today, very informally, and then we'll open up the floor to talk with each other about opportunities and challenges in the performing arts sector in the region that affect, Mid-Atlantic arts programs, but really that are affecting you all and your work in the field. So a space to connect with us and with each other, and with artists too. So we would love for you to join us. And if you are interested in proposing a specific conversation topic around the subject of opportunities and challenges, I would welcome you to email me at sfluidus@midatlanticarts.org. We'll put that in the chat now too. We'd love to see you there and hope to connect with you either at that session or at the booth or elsewhere during the time in New York next month. So I'll pass it to Andrew to move us into questions.